So recently I found what is the key to creating a habit, and it's something that I didn't learn from Atomic Habits or any of those books, about self-improvement. It was from a lecture from, inside um, Tai Lopez program, the paid program, and I learned that if you want to create a habit or something that is, consistent in your life, you gotta do it every day. Like it's it's better that you do it every day for like 10 to 20 minutes, literally 10 to 20 minutes, as opposed to doing it, 3 times a week, for example. Because as soon as you say, I'm gonna do it 3 times a week, it just becomes more like, easier to slip and then just not doing it for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a fucking month. And then all of a sudden you realize that you're fucking fat. Like happened to me, you know? I mean, I'm not fat fully, but it was a point in my life where I just thought, damn, what happened to me? I was not, I'm this guy who was a 10% body fat, and I'm no definition. What am I doing wrong? So that was because I was starting to skip a lot of workouts in the gym. And so what I realized is, for example, things regarding to, fitness, or, like Tai Lopez excuse me, is health, wealth, love, and happiness, right? Those are the four kind of fields of life, right? So for health, it's more easier to do this for health, right? Which is, going to the gym every day, or maybe not going to the gym every day, but at least doing some sort of, conscious physical activity, right? And that was the example he was giving, the most of, like, going to the gym and saying, okay, I'm gonna do this every day a little bit, or exercising a little bit every day, instead of saying I'm not gonna do it, I'm just gonna do it 3 times a week, for example, right? Now, I'm not saying that doing it 3 times a week is terrible. You can still make it work, of course you can, but it's, if you really want to implement something into your life and that just sticks into like your identity as a person, it's better that you do it every single day a little bit. Okay, for example, that's what I do with my business, working my business. I do that with my daily habits. I'm gonna actually show you right now in real time my habits. So let me just record my screen right here. This is gonna be, I'm gonna be completely honest, I am a little bit ashamed for the consistency that I've had in my habits lately. Forget about Thursday, this one here. I don't know why I didn't put anything here. I did some of the habits, but this is today, and I actually did this one, and I'm actually doing this one right now. I didn't do this one, but the thing is, like, you can see that I have tons of habits right here. It's like 20 or something. Now, I realize that a lot of people might say, this is not gonna make you a millionaire or something like that, as if it was something, so impactful, like so dramatic. Oh, this is not gonna make you a millionaire. I mean, who said that it was going to make you a millionaire? To have a lot of habits. Things, I'm not optimizing only for money, for example. I'm optimizing for the 4 areas of life, which is health, wealth, love, and happiness, right? So I'm breaking down all of those 4 areas into little habits that I'm gonna put in my daily, habit tracker, that, if done correctly and I stick to it, to the, for example, at least 80% of the time, maybe at least 60% of the time, my life overall is gonna be better than, for example, just focusing on fucking money and being a Jew and just, money maxing and just, just work 10 coffees a day, wear sunglasses, fucking wear sunglasses inside, drink coffee or whatever, right? Like, this is my interpretation of Andrew Tate or something. So the reason why I'm saying this is because if I were to say something like, I'm going to do gratitude journaling, 3 things I'm grateful for 2 times a week, that is going to be way harder than saying, I'm gonna do one thing I'm grateful for, I'm gonna write that down in my journal every single day. One thing, not just one thing, right? Because that is going to build the, in my opinion, now this is not, scientific, but this is the way that I think about it, right? I'm gonna build the how can I say this? Like, I don't know, but the connections in my neurons that is going to tell my brain, okay, as soon as the day starts, I do this habit first, then this one, and then I do the gratitude journaling after that habit, right? And if I found that this has been, incredibly useful for how I stick to the habits, how I go about my life, basically. Because now with this, I'm able to say I have my routine that is never sacrificed for anything. For example, I'm working, to get to that point. I'm still not quite there. I'm working hard every day to try to break down kind of that habit that I basically started. I think it was like in 2024. I think it was 2025, somewhere between 2024, the end of that, and then for an almost entire year, I was just not doing any of them. Habits for a morning routine that were actually very good, and I was just doing, fucking undertake, wake up and just work, right? Without morning sunlight viewing, meditation, anything like that, right? So the last thing I wanted to say here is that, or the actionable step in this case is that if you really want to change your identity, improve your identity. I mean, for example, for myself, I don't want to change my identity. I want to improve my identity, right? One step at a time. If you want to improve your identity into towards the person that you really want to become, it's way better that you do something every single day, even if it's small. Okay? But importantly, or the most important thing is that if you're building a habit, that you do it every single day. Okay? I realize sometimes it's not really possible, but if you can, do it every single day, and it's going to be so transformative into this kind of self-conscious mind. Not so much in like the conscious mind, like you yourself are going to identify yourself as someone who, for example, in the case of meditation, someone who is a meditator, not someone who meditates every once in a while, right? And that is such an important difference, such an important difference that makes a huge difference in the long term. Okay, so think about the 4 areas of life: health, what am I doing here? Health, wealth, love, happiness. And think about how you can break down those habits into your routine. Okay, once you break those down, or break those habits, or break those areas into habits down, then you can put them in a habit tracker. You can have it in a notebook. For example, I just like it more in digital because it saves me time to build another one every single month or whatever. You can print one if you want to. There's templates all over the internet, and then just start to get consistent at it. And don't be disappointed if you, for example, don't do it 2 times a week. 2 times of the 7 times that you should do it a week, because it's progress at the end of the day. It's small steps towards being 100% consistent, which is what we really want, right? It's almost like, and sorry for this, I mean, this is I'm just gonna show who I am, right? But it's how a lot of guys are addicted to porn, right? And masturbation, jacking off, basically, gooning, like say now. So a lot of guys, and even myself in the past, I used to struggle to control it, because I just felt like it was a streak. If I'm doing 1 week or 1 day, then I may as well just do it 5 times a day, and then just start clean the next day tomorrow, right? Which is absolutely terrible. Doesn't make sense whatsoever logically, right? More importantly is to think about the average from month to month, and think about if you have an improvement of 1%, that is improvement. 1%. It's not 1% every day, because if you do it 1 day, 1% a day for 365 days of the year, it's just, but it's a concept of improving a little bit every single day, right? So actionable steps here: create your habit tracker, and have this new mindset of consistency, not as a streak, but rather as a consistency rate, right? How consistent you were over the entire month compared to the time that you were consistent the entire month of the last month. Okay, and then feel happy about the improvement, even if it's a 5% improvement. Just make sure that you actually, every month at least have 1%. If you have 1% improvement, you're doing fine. Of course, if you can do a little more, great. And that was everything I want to say. Goodbye.